A new Gartner survey found that 87% of customers believe companies using generative AI for customer service must still give them access to a human agent. But that statistic does not create only one content angle. A customer experience strategist, an AI consultant, a small business owner, a workforce expert, and a patent advocate could all use this same research and produce completely different content. Today, I'm showing you how to find the facts, develop the angles, and build credible content around one timely piece of news. I'm Jamie Maglietta, and this is the Producer's Angle, part of Think Like a Producer, and I'm turning the news into credible content that helps you build authority. Let's begin with the original source. August 4th, Gartner released new research about how customers feel when companies use generative AI for customer support. There are two statistics I would pull from this report if you're creating content. First, 50% of customers say generative AI has made customer service interactions easier. But 87% said companies using generative AI must still provide an option to reach a human agent. Those two numbers belong together. If you're using only the 87% statistic, you could make this sound like a story about customers rejecting AI. That's not what the research says. Half of the customers surveyed see a benefit, but an overwhelming majority still want a human option available. Heck, I type in those chats human all the time. That creates a much stronger content question. Where does automation improve the customer experience, and where does the absence of a human begin to damage trust? This is where an expert stops repeating the headline and starts producing the angle. You need to think like a producer here. If you work in customer experience, your angle could be something like, when should an AI customer service agent transfer someone to a human, a person? You could identify the moments that should trigger an immediate handoff, right? Like a customer has asked the same question more than once, or has said human more than once. The system cannot understand the request. The customer is showing frustration or distress, or say the issue involves money, safety, health, or sensitive personal information. In those instances, in a lot of cases, the AI lacks authority to solve the actual problem. Now you have the foundation for a short form video. These are the 5 signs your customer experience bot should stop talking and find a person. You could turn that into a LinkedIn post and ask, is your AI actually resolving customer problems or simply preventing customers from reaching you or your team? For a longer YouTube video, you could turn this into, say, an analysis of what is a good handoff and what should it be, shouldn't it be? Should the customer need to repeat their entire story when a human joins? I vote that they shouldn't. Again, use your point of view with your expertise to support it. The stats and facts and details from surveys like this can reinforce you as an authority within your niche or niche, however you want to say it. Salesforce is offering users a real-world example. After using Agentforce to handle more than 1 million support requests, the company listed always back agents with humans as one of its 5 implementation lessons. So if Salesforce, this is a good example from 2024 that you can use as a way to craft your own content, to come up with an angle. Dig into the past, see what others have come up with. Salesforce says, AI can handle repetitive requests, but customers need a fast, smooth path to a human. When there's an issue that is being addressed, to do some research, dig into it, see how other people have talked about it and come up with a new fresh angle or repurpose an angle with a different hook. If you are an AI consultant, your angle should not automatically be AI is replacing customer service. The better angle, the stronger angle, the fresher hook is in there. How could you rephrase it? Think about it. I'm giving you a moment. if you are that person. But what it should be is something like, how should a company design an AI and human service system? How can AI and humans work together? You could produce content around those decision points or 3 decisions that people could be making around this topic. Which customer questions can AI safely resolve? What situations? What are 3 situations that always require human judgment? And I would phrase it in the sense of, hey, this new report came out. I'm an AI expert. Here are 3 situations where humans should always be called in when AI can't answer the question. Something like that. Salesforce has a video demonstrating how Agentforce handles self-service inquiries and limits the number requiring human intervention. You could show a brief portion of this video, came out a year ago, but it's still relevant to the conversation. You show a little clip, and from that, you can pull an example and add your own professional analysis. As an AI consultant, you could explain that what companies should be doing as a effective measure. If you're looking for a longer explainer, you could look at the 5 metrics companies should track before claiming their AI agent is successful. And your LinkedIn post could challenge business leaders to measure resolution and trust, not simply how many conversations never reached an employee. In a newsroom, when we were coming up with topics for the news and angles for the reporters, we would hash out these ideas and determine what could really resonate most with our ideal client, our audience. And if you're in that same position where you're trying to figure out, how do I create content that's going to resonate? This show's for you. Each day, Monday through Friday, I'll be popping on to look at one piece of news and help you break it down into content. I'm testing it out right now on YouTube, so I appreciate you being here. And if you're liking this, do share it with a friend. All right, let's keep going into this. So when you're a customer expert, like a customer experience expert, you could seriously break this report down into all the different data points and ask people. I would do MOS on the street, ask people, what do you think generative AI, service bots should do when your questions aren't being answered? When do you think a human should be called in? I would love that type of piece of content. It would show you as reporting. You're asking people for their opinion and you're adding value to the conversation. I would dig into it. I would put together a survey of your own. Ask people on LinkedIn, what do you want a generative AI chatbot to do for you? When do you want a human to actually get called in? It's funny that human is actually a term that we all use. I thought it was only me. I'm like, give me a human. But we shouldn't get to that point. And if that's your point of view, explain what this does for the customer experience. If they get to that frustration point, does that ultimately break the relationship? Do they start looking at other places to get their services from? So as a customer experience expert, you could essentially break it down in a ton of different ways. You just need to select something that's going to work with you, your brand, and something you could be consistent on. So if you're going to go interview people, you may need to do it once a week to keep up with it. And if you're looking at, putting together another type of video, you could do 3 customer questions I will automate and 3 I will never leave to a bot. That's another way you can get at this story when creating a video if you're not going to go out do man on the street. A LinkedIn post could also explain like that human service behind your brand, what you do differently and why you agree or disagree with the outcome of a survey like this or any other statistic or detail that comes out around generative AI. AI is a hot topic, so if your business can lean into it, I highly recommend that you do. And the workforce expert. Okay, so the workforce expert, if that's you could approach this story from another direction. If AI handles the predictable questions, what becomes more important in the human customer service role? The answers could be judgment, empathy, de-escalation, complex problem solving, product expertise, and giving them the space to be the authority of your brand. Gartner reported in 2025 that half of the organizations it surveyed had abandoned plans to significantly reduce customer service staffing because of AI. The firm recommended a hybrid approach in which AI and human agents work together. That gives a workforce expert a credible starting point for content about job redesign, not merely job elimination. AI may not eliminate your customer service team, but it will change what the team is hired to do. Hi, I am the expert in this. Pick up. Your topic could be something like, AI might not eliminate your customer service team, but it will change what the team is hired to do. Hi, I'm Jamie. I am a customer service or a workforce expert, and here's my point of view on this study. You want to have a hook off the top, and that could be your hook. It just depends on where your point of view lies. Now, I want you to consider these statistics and the research that could go into it. Whenever you see news that you can use, lean into it, especially if it can help prove your point or expand your point of view. You want to make sure that you are putting yourself out there and providing value to your audience. News is the best way to not only show your potential clients how knowledgeable you are, but it could also start positioning you as the expert in your field to the media. So if press is something that you want one day, start now. And maybe this is the story that you talk about. I can't say it's going to help you get booked with the media right away, but it could be the story that helps you build consistency online. And that's what you need to do if you want to start growing and having an online strategic brand. I'm Jamie Maglietta, and this has been The Producer's Angle, all a part of On Cam Ready and the Think Like a Producer series. Use the news, find your angle, produce your authority. And find me on Instagram at Jamie_Maglietta. I'll see you online.